Hello, welcome to the Daily Live. It's Thursday the 13th of March. We're going to be talking about getting John's reaction really to a lot of the changes that Everton announced last week with the likes of Richard Kenyon leaving, Kevin Thelwell, the appointments of Angus Kinnear. But before we do, today's show is brought in partnership to you by HelloFresh. Our friends at HelloFresh. They have a huge amount of healthy eating options that you can review using their app or the website. The link to that app, the link to the website rather, is in the description below. Once you've ordered something, they deliver everything you need to make a healthy and nutritious meal. Like I said, you receive everything you need, not just the ingredients, but also these recipe cards, which I think you'll agree are quite nice. Look at that. Give you all the steps that you need.
Easy to follow.
I've got quick, fragrant pork and mushroom stir-fry, zesty, breaded sea bass and chips. And John, you made one of these, didn't you? Which one did you have? The chicken and plum stir-fry?
No, is there
the quick, fragrant pork and mushroom one? It was what you had.
That's the one I had, yeah.
Was it easy to make?
Very.
Was it tasty and nutritious?
It was. Well, I'm grinning because it was for two people. Okay. And as my missus was celiac, she couldn't have some of it. So,
okay.
So I ended up having a double portion. But I ate it all. It was dead simple to follow the menu card thing. Yeah. And everything comes in boxes and they're all labelled up and everything. So it was dead easy.
Excellent.
So I'm going to do the other one, the other stir fry tonight. So there.
Nice. Nice, very nice. So there you go. What are you waiting for? The link is in the description. Get on it. You can scan the QR code, which is on the TV there as well. As John just said, it was very easy to make, very nutritious. If you do scan the QR code, you get 50% off. Yeah. At the moment from your first order, because you're an Evertonian and a Toffee TV viewer. If you use the code Everton50, you will get a huge 50% discount, and there's more. You'd also then get 20% discount for the next 2 months. So there you go.
The desserts are nice.
There's a bit more. You get free desserts, not just for now, but for the next few months as well.
Forever,
for life, if you carry on that subscription. Dessert for life. Why wouldn't you? What are you waiting for? Links in the description. Do not forget to use the Everton50 code and get 50% off your first order. And you might be on MasterChef. Who knows? John will be definitely going for MasterChef. He sent us an image.
Mate, if I can do it, anyone
can. Well, you sent a lovely photo after you'd made it.
Yeah.
And it looked very nice. So there you go. There you go. Go and do that. The link in the description, or scan the QR code to get 50% off your first HelloFresh order. John, last week, Friday, was it? Thursday, Friday, Everton announced a host of changes.
They did.
People like Richard Kenyon leaving the club after 11 years. Colin Chong stepping down as his role as CEO, but moving over to with the stadium and stuff, which is what we sort of thought would happen. Kevin Thelwell, we'd sort of known was leaving. Everton confirmed it last week that he was leaving. Obviously, this week he had a 2-page statement, didn't he, that he released through the Sporting Directors Association. Whatever. So, and obviously the worst kept secret in football over the last few weeks was confirmed with Angus Kinnear becoming the CEO. So, just on face value, first and foremost, what have you made of those changes?
If we go right to left, which would be, because you mentioned Angus Kinnear last week, and I think we'll no doubt we'll go in more detail on this tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be doing it properly
because we record BWB, but it must be a couple of editions ago we talked around the subject, and then maybe last week or whenever it was, we talked about Angus Kinnear, and I think I made the observation that he'll be the best qualified chief exec to do that job that we've had since Keith Warnes walked out the door. And that was really just to say how long ago it was. So I think that's a good appointment. The man has a marketing background. Clearly, again, we'll talk about details about what other people need to be put around him. But I think it's probably significant that some of these announcements have come out, not the sporting one, because that's separate, I suppose, but certainly around Colin. Clearly, if you're having a new chief exec, then the old chief exec or the current interim chief exec has to go and do something else. I think most people are really happy that he's sticking around, but I guess in some respects he's going back to what he was doing before. Not before he was interim chief exec, before he built this beautiful new stadium, which is looking after the estate and stuff like that, which is goodness. And Richard was perhaps the first, not necessarily the decision of the inbound chief exec, but certainly he didn't object to it, did he?
No,
the decision was made elsewhere, with his role being around commercial and comms. And it would appear that the new chief exec, who his own background allows him to do the commercial, may have in mind somebody else to come in to do the comms side. And of course, a pretty standard thing when people leave, they say, well, we're going to appoint someone in the future. But in the meantime, that his workload, Richard, will be spread amongst the other guys.
Right, yeah.
And whilst it was Kevin's going at the end of the season, it would appear he's gone, wouldn't it? And Richard has gone, but I've not spoken to him. I'll leave him alone for a bit.
Yeah.
But clearly Colin will hand over when Angus turns up on, presumably July the 1st or something, because it's at the end of the season, isn't it? Or when Leeds have confirmed what's going on.
June the 1st, apparently, he takes over.
Well, there you go. That's good. So it's before the financial year closes out. So as soon as the season itself is finished. Yeah. And of course, they've announced who's replacing him at Leeds. So it's all, all ducks are lined up. And one hopes in those first 30 days or so, he'll be able to say what else is happening at board level to make it look stronger and more fit for what we need to do going forward.
Yeah, they all look good. It is, the code is Toffee TV 50 on the first read that said Everton 50. It's Toffee TV 50 to get you 50% off.
It's on the screen as well.
And it's on the screen. The whole thing...
Just follow that QR code, don't you? Yeah.
The whole thing, you scan the code.
Yeah.
With Angus Kinnear, what do you make of him wanting to stay till Leeds are up, basically? They won again last night, of course.
Yeah. I think it's like anything. These things get played out in public, don't they? And therefore it's a bit, people make judgments of their own. So I don't know whether he did want to stay or not. Clearly he'll have a notice period. You would imagine most football clubs wouldn't want their chief exec leaving before the season's finished. I can't imagine he's got a hugely hands-on role right now. We've just alluded or suggested, maybe I suggested, that he's making decisions on behalf of Everton already. So I think it's just one of those natural transitionary things, particularly for Leeds who are seeking promotion. You'd rather hope a chief exec leaving or joining wouldn't affect promotion, but you don't want to take the chance, do you, of upsetting the apple cart? And he was chief exec when they got promoted last time, and no doubt he'd like it on his CV to say, well, I was the chief exec and got them promoted again. Yeah. But the reality is, we know he's the Everton chief exec. All the Leeds fans know he's the Everton chief exec. And hopefully for him, he can go out on a bit of a high. And then he'll have a bar set to come and create highs over here. Yeah. Our highs, hopefully, will be far higher than Leeds' highs. So
you'd hope so.
Absolutely,
You'd hope so. So you've just said before, and I think you've said on Business with Blaine, the right sort of appointments in terms of what we've had before. We haven't had this. He's been in football. He's at Arsenal, wasn't he? He's at West Ham. He's now at Leeds. We've been around football for a long time.
And he's a young man,
Well, 47, 48 is he?
47. So mid to late 40s, which is young. Clearly really solid when you look at the companies, clubs that he's worked for and the roles that he's had. And a forward-thinking marketeer, I guess, who's well into current technologies and stuff. He's clearly, I don't know if our fans have watched it, but, he meets or has met in the past with a podcast, a Leeds podcast, and literally doesn't get warned what the questions are, sits there and answers questions. And I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, you, James, for example, but if you look at the last one, which was last September, he's talking candidly of what happened in the transfer window, why they did things, why they didn't do other things. He talks about natural tension. He's been watching BWB. No, we were talking about natural tensions inside the business. He actually mentions that in this podcast of tension between the manager who wants immediacy, I want stuff now, and the recruitment team who are trying to balance the portfolio. And he actually describes that natural tension as being just that. It's good. It's positive. So we might assume that the words we're hearing about how Everton will do this going forward have been influenced by his approach to having done it at Leeds. And that per se didn't include a director of football, did it? No. So we'll join those dots up. Hopefully Angus will be as positive and proactive, I guess, or responsive if it's people approaching him, of going and speaking to independent fan media and the stuff. And as I would say it this way, wouldn't I? As we're the biggest and the best, hopefully we'll have him on your sofa over there, Baz, one day.
Never know.
Yeah, never know. It would be good, wouldn't it?
It would be good. Kevin Thelwell obviously confirming he's leaving. What have you made? What have you made of the job that Kevin's done? Obviously, it was a difficult time to come into the club. It's been the bumpiest time probably in our history, really.
Yeah, I think
certainly recent history.
It's a funny one because it's like people generally, just maybe it's football fans or maybe it's just people in general. It's almost like everything has to be binary, doesn't it? He was either great or he was crap.
Yeah.
And the reality is there was some things he was very good at and some things he was less good at. Right? I think it was a difficult and challenging time for him and in fact everyone at the club, and I think perhaps we have to give everyone a bit of a let on hard times. But I see that as small R reasons, not but that's very close to big E excuses,
Okay.
Because I think a director of football's role is to do the best he can with the resources available to him, just like the manager is. And those resources typically in the Premier League are money.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got a lot of money, then you have to do the best you can with not a lot of money, rather than bitching and whinging that you haven't got a lot of money, right? And unfortunately, rightly or wrongly, the way it came out in the media was Kevin spent more time complaining about how hard his job was rather than finding, pacey right-sided midfield players, right? Now, we'll never know what's going on behind the scenes.
No, of course.
Right, and how incredibly difficult and challenging it really was. I just think someone with a different mindset may have got more out of the situation than he did. But, what follows a but always contradicts what went before it. I think in the round, he did an okay job. I think it was difficult. There was a rotation of challenges around ownership and stuff like that. He was trying to juggle things because of PSR. And I'm sure, because I think we've met him briefly, that he himself would acknowledge he could have done a better job. But when you're in a maelstrom, when you're going down a track, when you don't know what's going on, it's easy at the end of that, isn't it, to say, I would have done this differently. So I wrote my Substack article and fundamentally ended up saying something like, someone else will get the fruit of his labours. Yeah. Because he has left some positive things, in some of the players. He did manage to get over the line, and it doesn't really matter how and why they happened. You still got to, when I've talked with you about deals, you've got to close deals, haven't you? So we can say John Textor wants to give us a really good player because he thinks he's going to own the club, but you still have to get it over the line, So I think we've got a solid foundation there, but I think if you did a balance sheet of wins and losses on player trading, we may think we've got as many losses as wins, I think, during his tenure. But financially and the like, everything he did set us up for the exciting summer we think we're going to have. So I think a bit like some of the people who've been around the club in recent times, including the owner perhaps, history might look more favourably on what he did than what we think in the raw moment of now and where we're at. Because we only look at the players that didn't work out, don't we? We don't look at the ones that have worked
145 million spent and brought 225 million in.
Absolutely.
So at a time when everyone spends money, we've done a video, it'll be out later, just looking back on
you went across all the players,
and looking at his players and what's what. So have a little look at that when that comes.
I think there's an important point here though, Baz, because and I'll watch that because I wasn't involved in production, which is good. It's like a salesy person who's doing a job. You will always get the blame if things go wrong, but you don't always get the credit when they've gone wrong.
Yeah, of course.
So whatever anybody says, if you set aside the person called Kevin Thelwell, and your video shows pros and cons on wins and losses with players, and if the outcome, the overall balance is, you know what? We've ended up in a reasonably good place considering the circumstances. That's his fault.
Yeah.
So he should get credit.
So we can get the credit.
Absolutely.
Thomas Darren, YouTube member, says morning to all from San Antonio. Just
Texas.
Saying hello and now off to listen on the drive. And Cushington, YouTube member, says HelloFresh finally advertising on the channels that matter.
Well done.
Your words, but thank you very much.
Tell us what ones you bought.
Sophie, who's a YouTube member, says, and a few other people are asking this question as well. What do you make of Burnley's court case against Everton? Sophie says they have an obsession.
It's an interesting one. I think, again, we'll probably talk about it tomorrow, won't we? But they are owned by Americans. Americans like to litigate, right? Chase, sue people and stuff like that. If you take off your blue-tinted specs, you could think or conclude that if things had gone differently, they being Burnley, would have 100 million quid more in the bank, maybe. So therefore, they may feel that they've been wronged. But my view is that the wrong that they had was that, had Everton got the PSR punishment in the season in which it came to light, Burnley wouldn't have got relegated. But that's the process is run by the Premier League and independent commissions and so on, not by Everton. So I struggle to understand why they think Everton are the people they should sue. I could understand if it was Everton and the Premier League or whatever, or just the Premier League on its own. I'm a bit at a loss to think why it's Everton who have wronged Burnley, because Everton got well wronged on it when you look at the size of the punishments compared to, say, what Nottingham Forest got for bigger crimes, and Leicester get out for a technical, and all those sorts of things. And the observation which you made when we were chatting about this briefly this morning is that the punishment that we got, they got the benefit of because they were back in the Premier League then.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, what happened?
8 points given back, and they were still 20 points behind Everton. So
yeah. So
and the other thing as well, John, is if
it's a waste of money.
You can go, they got. But if Everton would have been given the points deductions in that season, and there were still 8 games to go, Everton wouldn't have got beat by Burnley at Turf Moor because they're just going to play for the draw. And that would have been it. So it would have affected everything. So you can't claim it back. Also, the shortfall, they reckons 40 million in year one, don't they? So,
but that's the maximum.
And they were promoted back up.
That's the maximum loss.
Yeah. So
because they get the parachute payments.
Yeah. So the actual disparity.
Yeah.
They might. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a real hard push for them simplistically to say if Everton had got this 8-point deduction. Then,
well, it wouldn't have been 8, would it? Because the 2 was for the next season. So it was
that's 6. So okay, 6 in that season. Then, if Everton had got this 6, the 10 reduced to 6, then we'd have stayed up. Really? Well, if Everton had got that point deduction at the beginning of the season, which they did actually, in a way,
they'd have comfortably stayed up anyway.
Then they'd have stayed up anyway. You know what I mean? So it's all ifs and buts.
Of course it is.
Now we know because we saw it with the PSRs. That's what we think. And they have what they think, and a judge will have what he thinks or she thinks, and it'll be that judge who decides. So who knows? Yeah, we've all seen crazy judgments. A judge might just think, "Oh, Everton, just give them 15 mil, or something stupid to shut them up." And you think, no, absolutely not. So I rather hope that Everton defend it with the view of we don't think we should be paying anything. And
well, isn't it a dangerous? A dangerous precedent anyway, because then Everton will go surely after Manchester City, as will everyone else, and then they'll go after someone. You can start looking at things of Man United have just lost, as their owner said, lost 400 million over 3 seasons. Well, I thought you were only allowed to lose 105. So how's United not been done? Have they got away with 400 million losses?
Because they got some rather generous COVID things, didn't they? Yeah. But they are the biggest and the hairiest commercial organisation.
No, but losing 400 million, you're not allowed to do that. So, they don't forget they were given another big chunk back by COVID that everyone disagreed with, but the Premier League was like, no, they're all right. Man U, they're too big. So Everton could go after all sorts. I'm going if City get done, I want Everton going after them for the 2016 Carabao Cup semi, costing us a Champions League place in 2014 by beating us at Goodison. When Ross Barkley scored, because we'd have got them 3 points, we'd have finished in Champions League places. Every game we've lost, the FA Cup quarter final, go after them for everything.
Well, use the word precedent, which I'm
playing a little bit there, but why not?
But you're right, because I said, we're looking at this from an Everton perspective, aren't we, as fans, right? And we're thinking, well, my first reaction, I think I did this on social media, was surely they should be going after the Premier League for having crap processes. But maybe, just maybe, which is what I said to you earlier this morning, and you're right to bring it up, is maybe they just do want to set a precedent that says you can go after individual clubs. And so the judge, whoever sees this case, and we know who our KC is now, which is one of the guys we use on the PSR stuff, clearly all the other clubs who were ganging up on us back in the day, Leeds and Leicester, and, they're like bloody 100-metre runners who bitch like the other guys taking drugs, and then when it all plays out, they find out all of them were on drugs.
The Leeds have been done a few times. So Leicester, the EFL can't wait for Leicester to drop back in.
Absolutely. So people in glass houses and that, but maybe they just do want to set a precedent, and that's a lot of English law and stuff is case based, and they just want a case. And you're right, if Everton find out, sadly, in my view, that, well, what happened, even though it was the regulator's fault for not having slick processes, you did, in our view, cause our client to get damaged, and therefore you have to pay for it. There'll be a long, long line of companies, i.e. football clubs, wanting to do that to City. A long line.
Crazy. And the Premier League, because why wouldn't you just go after the Premier League?
And why don't some go after Nottingham Forest, and why don't some go after Leicester?
Well, surely the other teams will have gone down this season. So if Forest stayed up by a few points, well, they got done. So therefore, teams surely will go after Forest. And go after... So it is nonsense. If any... And again, I always question these people who are allowed to make the judgments on them, because it just do. They can't be making judgments on hypotheticals, because it's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. If Everton had gone spent 200 million in the January on forwards and stayed up, then you go, well, there's the direct. It was a bleeding building that's coming out the floor, not players. So there's no, again, I've always contested sporting advantage, and I always will. When a sporting advantage is a brick, and I've never seen a brick score a goal ever, then...
I've seen plenty of bricks not score goals.
But
I mean, it just appears to be... it's not quite opportunistic, because they've been running with this for a while, but it is probably telling that the other clubs have all melted away.
Well, let's hope now Burnley definitely don't come up. They deserve to rot now, as far as I'm concerned, because this is embarrassing. I find it embarrassing from them.
Remember back in the day when all this PSR stuff started, it said, Premier League rules, you're not allowed to sue each other.
That's what they said, That was the agreement, and then all of a sudden they've gone up to that.
So maybe they now think Burnley, they are getting promoted, therefore they need to start the litigation before they're in the Premier League.
They're not coming up. They couldn't even win at home last night.
Did they lose again?
They drew, didn't they? The night before, they drew. So, Sheffield United.
You're going to put the hex on them, are you?
Sheffield United, I don't even really want Leeds up, but...
You're taking the lesser of two evils now, eh?
But they'll go back down, so Leeds, Sheffield United, and then I hope someone like Coventry, Big Frank, brings Coventry up in the playoffs, and Burnley have to stay again.
Trying to find the league.
Rod says Everton need to toughen up, and I hope TFG see this as a direct attack on our football club. I think Everton have to suffer. I think Everton have to start ruffling feathers now and start going after people.
Well, lest we forget that one of the ringleaders of the initial, Gang of Five or whatever it was, would have been Angus, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So he might have insider information on what their plans were, Albeit Leeds have given up on that now. So.
Yeah, because someone probably said, if you look too hard, they'll find your stuff.
Well, more likely they said, you might get 10p, but it'll cost you 25p to get it, legal fees and all that sort of stuff.
But I think Rod's right. I think Everton do need to toughen up.
Yeah, I think we will.
Start becoming aggressive and showing that we're not going to be messed about.
Just looking at the league table, Burnley might end up in the playoffs.
They'll choke.
They'll choke,
Rubbish.
He's doing a good job, though, isn't he?
Frank's flying. I mean, he got beat the other night by Derby, but
they're in the
Harrison Armstrong. Well, he won 9 out of 11 games, hasn't he?
Yeah. Harrison's doing good, isn't he, at Derby? They love him already.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The new Leon Osborne.
Yeah.
Play for Derby and then...
Well, me Derby County supporting mate Alan Ford. You might be watching Al. Well, hello if you are. That was what he said the other night. Perhaps could we have him next season, he said. He literally said, if we stay up, So that's the optimism they're getting out of it. If we stay up, we'd love him again next season.
Well, they've won both games, haven't they? Last 2 games, so that's good. Gary Ward says, Hardy One says, hello. Chris Davis says, afternoon, lads. Went on the Goodison evening tour last night with brilliant, very warm welcome.
Good, I've heard it's
for myself, my sister, and their 2 sons by the great Alan Myers. Made it even more special.
Ooh.
There you go, big Myro there. Andrew says, hello, I'm convinced we'll be a top 6 club next season with these changes and some new players in. The league isn't great. No, the league isn't great in the slightest. Dave Witch says, QVC now have Baz as their top summer transfer target.
Brilliant.
There you go.
HelloFresh are like that because they're getting you while you're still...
There you go, yeah.
Cost effective.
They've got me cost effective, so QVC... I'm here, just contact John and we'll have a chat. Eddie says, who do you all think Everton signed up? Who do you all think got Everton signed up for the US tour? Would it have been Moyes or a last action by Thelwell? I think it's more likely to be Big Kenny Moyes, his brother, who last time Everton played in a proper US tournament was Kenny's doing.
Yeah. Wasn't it in the offing before Moyes was even a thing?
No. We had no chance of going Maldice was there.
That's true.
It didn't. He couldn't get there with your A to Z.
No,
so
that's right. Yeah.
And he couldn't get back to.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. You mean from an approval perspective? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Dyche would have said no, wouldn't he?
Of course he would.
He said no. We want to go and play Coventry.
Get the 3 piggies on Alton Road. Kev Maloney says, "What do you think of the potential change of the 6-second rule?"
They're not changing it, are they? They're just going to try and enforce it, aren't they?
It's, what is it, 8 seconds and you get a corner?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. They're just enforcing it, aren't they? But they wouldn't have to do that if they enforced it before, would they?
We'll see, won't we? It'll be interesting. I mean, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad that you get a corner from that, but...
The ref's got a new sign, hasn't he, or something that says,
Goes and tells you he's on a countdown.
Yeah.
Or something. It should have the thing just playing...
Yeah.
At the end, and then you get 8 seconds.
I mean, it just tells you what the legislators or regulators of the sport itself are thinking about. That's the most important thing. It's not pushing and shoving and wrestling and penalty boxes and penalties not being given that are and vice versa. It's all goalkeepers are wasting time when the ref can put the time back on anyway.
I love the thing of they used on one of the stories, they had Pickford holding the ball, laying down.
Always Jordan, isn't
and then it listed all the goalies who he wasn't even in the top 15. Alisson held it for 43 seconds in the derby.
Where?
In the 92nd minute the other week.
Wow.
Yeah. Pickford wasn't even anywhere near it.
Yeah.
He had him on the thing.
Because they always pick Jordan.
Just utter clowns. Ian says, afternoon lads, always love listening to John Wings in. Useful information about the club and what's going on.
Cool, thank you.
Kev Maloney says, Franjo Ivanovic, the 21-year-old Croatian striker winger in the Belgian Pro League, if you loan Chimiti, he could be a third striker or sub-winger. And Steve P says, 21-year-old striker, Nantes, Matthias Alplein, quite unique, all-round striker, can create chance himself, run with the ball, good hold-up play, one to look at. Hopefully we're looking at all of these, aren't we?
Yep.
These are all, well, you'd like to think, these are all going to be on a short list for transfer targets this summer, because clearly can't see Brozier staying, can't see Dom staying.
Nope.
So Ian the Blue says, Bart's QVC couldn't afford you. I'm quite cheap, but fair play to you for putting me out there. Mark says, I'll bet anything we will be the first to be done by the 8-second rule, and it never gets put in again. The Nias rule. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Would it be called the Pickford rule?
It's something, yeah, wouldn't surprise me. And Gavin says, Everton will be the first and only club to be given a corner against for it.
And next season, is it?
And you can't...
Won't they have to trial it for 2 years?
Normally you go, oh, look, that's... But these people are right.
Yeah.
Aren't they? These people are right. It will be Everton, because it's been Everton so many times. When you see when you see Howard Webb nonsense that he spewed the other night about how they got the VAR, and then you've got
this, says it was right.
Richie Keys destroyed him yesterday.
Did he?
Stop covering it up. It was a penalty. End of story.
Is that what he said?
Because Webb admitted, well, he didn't show them the right angle, and yet the lit he's got hold of him. But Maguire, well, he stopped
we
him.
knew.
He stopped
we
him
said
getting
they'd
the ball.
focus on that, didn't we?
And Keith Hackett come out and said it's embarrassing. He should get stepped down as the leader of the PGMOL to try to justify such a terrible decision.
Sure.
It's
10-man walking, mate.
Yeah.
On the stretch of 6, getting 32 seconds anyway. Everyone gets 8. Keepers.
Probably.
Yeah.
They just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Sam says, will we get Nonto now? And Wormy Spoon says, you can't take Fark's little Willie off him. So there you go. We got linked yesterday to Dusan Vlahovic, the Juventus striker.
I saw that, yeah.
Very
good player.
Very interesting striker. Good age, done brilliantly at Fiorentina. He's done all right at Juve.
It's 1 and 2-ish.
Wants to come to the Premier League.
Yeah. Why are they
He'd be a good
dumping him
signing.
for...
They tried to sell him last year.
Yeah.
I don't, whatever the reason, I don't know.
Arsenal must signed him, didn't they?
Arsenal nearly got him, yeah. And I don't know why.
Because letting him go.
Because I think
really
he's a decent striker, but...
Good age as well, isn't he? He's not.
Nearly good age.
Yeah.
But yeah. Scott Early says, good morning from NYC. Hope to meet you guys in Jersey this July. We'll stay in touch, Scott, and yes, we will meet you in New Jersey. Not meet me in St. Louis because we're not going there, but meet me in New Jersey. Fair play. Sophie says, Howard Webb is a United fan. I have no evidence of that, Soph, but fair play. Thomas Darrens, who's a YouTube member, says, hey guys, need to remember we are also owned by Americans. We do like to sue, but we also love to fight suits. This will not end well for Burnley unless they're doing this to get to City.
Yeah.
Fair play. That's right, Thomas.
Spot on.
Rod says Ian Wright said Everton should be contesting for the European places with Moyes and a few decent signings.
He's right.
He's absolutely spot on. John says Dusan Vlahovic for me, top striker who hasn't worked at Juve, 25 million as well. That's a snip.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Get in there. Greg Morgan says the goalkeeper 8-second rule will go like this. Everton will be the first punished by this. A corner will be given. We'll concede the goal. The rule will then be forgotten and never be enforced again. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Ian says the graph on the yellow NEC top is Moyes' improvement as the Everton manager. Have a look. It exactly is.
Too many downs on it.
Well, let's just all date, killing us.
Just the end bit, yeah. Good one.
Dave, yes, we are. If we go, we will go to all 3.
Yeah.
There's no point going that far to just do 1 or 2 games.
You boys sorted your domestics out
I've just got to get a pass from... Definitely going.
She's not stopping you going. It's
no.
You're allowed to go on your own.
Whether I can go on my own. The point is, I've said that. Great. I'd love it to be there, but we're also working. So therefore, if it's... Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Whatever will happen. We'll be there. Yes, Gabe, we will be in Chicago. JL23 says Jonathan David or Vlahovic. I'd be very happy with. Definitely. Also Boniface from Leverkusen. We should have got him. Then I was banging a bleeding drum to get him. And we let him go.
We'd have saved some money, wouldn't we?
Just a bit. And would have had the striker.
Yeah.
He scores goals.
Let's see what decisive leadership can bring.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting golf. I mean, listen, Everton quite clearly wouldn't have had the money at that time.
No.
As it seems. There is a bit of money, but we've actually got to get 4 players with it. So it is what it is. Dave says, good to hear, Baz. Hope to catch up with you in the Windy City. Yeah. And I don't know is the answer to the package thing. I have no idea. If it's like if you want the club to do it all and go with the club, I don't know.
I've not seen anything.
He might announce something.
Yeah, I've not seen anything.
I don't know because I don't know what the take-up would be for them to do the package. So I'm really not sure. Celtic Vape says, flowers, chocolates, washing up, Baz. That's what you do. Yeah. Matthew Hook says, how much money will be available this summer?
Enough.
Yeah. Don't know. Substantially more than we've had, I would say. But who knows? As for like figures, you just wouldn't know.
We've had in the past, have we not, sufficient, let's call it, for want of a phrase, P&L type funds, yeah? I.e., we could afford more than we could actually get started because we didn't have the cash.
Yeah.
So we just take an assumption that cash will be less of an issue because we've got new owners who are keen and invested in Rome and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So getting deals over the line will be easier than it was for Kevin. But we've also got, what did we roughly check? 40 million quid's worth of salary could be going out the door, you know, and that's a lot.
And 53 million in interest payments gone.
All that, yeah. And then you've got the upside from the new stadium and so on and so forth. And so if they do what they presumably have been doing for many years now, with all the hard times of running right up to the PSR line, then we could have a very exciting summer if they ran up to the PSR line, wouldn't they? Because we would expect our revenue to go up by, 50 million or something in the new stadium. So, blah, blah, blah.
And amortization all of the stuff means it.
So what we're expecting, of course, is a big turnover in playing squad. We'll have a core that are all in contract because we keep focusing on those out of contract. We could, of course, move players on who are in contract because we think it's best for them or they think it's best for them. So be interesting to see how quickly we make decisions. But yeah, be interesting.
It will be interesting only because it is going to be a summer of change. We're seeing we've just mentioned it, before. Angus Kinnear coming in. Be interesting to see how he changes the direction of the club.
Yeah, because he's a marketeer by trade back in the day, which sort of naturally for some who do that works into commercial and so on, and ultimately he's evidenced that because he ends up as a chief exec, right? Then we'll be keen to understand what timing's all about as well. So I would hope that there'd be some statements made. I don't mean as in a piece of paper. I mean, by the way, Jared Brantwaite's just signed a new contract, because that helps your selling process to other players, doesn't it? Yeah. The stadium will help, know.
Of course.
And a good finish to the season, well, all those things, right, will help. And if you then have a sprinkling of players who want to play in the Premier League, then your sell gets a lot easier, doesn't it, than it was before. So let's see. We're still sitting here in the middle of July going, we haven't got anyone. We're going to be really back in that horrible dark place again, aren't we?
Can't see that.
But I don't see that at all, no.
Michael Kearney says the new keeper corner rule sounds identical to the ice hockey rule, where there's a face-off in their half.
All right.
Kev Maloney says before it was an indirect free kick from where the goalie had the ball. Punishment was too harsh, so the refs wouldn't call it. Maybe, yeah. Well, I can remember one of the first times they ever brought the rule, the goalie holding the ball, and it was the first time it ever been implemented, and it was Neville Southall. We played Villa at home. Forest, Villa at home as well. Cowan scored. They scored a free kick. He had the ball on the edge of the box, and Villa scored a free kick. So we might have done Forest, but it was not long after Southall got done at the Park End. I think we drew the game 3-0.
Yeah.
At the end, it might have been the last home game of the season, and they scored it and it was like only happens to Everton.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but the ones I remember, which is, as you say, it's an indirect free kick from where the keeper is at the time, which might be 10 yards from the goal, and you just have 20 bodies, in front of the goal. So nothing. It was
corner makes. If you're gonna do it, a corner's probably because it's still dangerous, but also it's not.
Very few
you've
goals.
Just got a shot at goal, have you?
Yeah.
But you just have to make sure you don't do it, won't you?
Yeah. It's like we're talking about a punishment for something which, it's time wasting. You had time on.
Yeah, no, I know. You were right before when you said they're looking to do stuff about that, but the actual key stuff.
You're going to get a corner where people are going to be wrestling.
Well, we seen a thing last night. It's been mentioned in the thing. Julian Alvarez's penalty that they said he touched twice, and it's disallowed. And
say take it again.
You look at it and go, hang on, what's happened there? They said the sensor and the ball showed he touched it twice when he kicked it, and he slips. If it goes in, it goes in.
Kicks it onto his other foot, doesn't he? Yeah.
He's not done it deliberately, has he? So it is a bit. I find those kind of things a little bit mad. I must admit, because he slipped. It's not a thing. as good as you are, you're not running up. I'll run up, I'll slide, I'll kick it onto that foot.
So that it goes up.
Bollocks.
Yeah. But it was critical, wasn't it? Because 3-3 becomes 3-1, effectively, sort of thing.
Adam says, if what happened to Atleti last night happened to Everton, I'd never watch football again. Steve P says, I couldn't see Vlahovic happening, not at this point. He's got a market value of 60 million. I don't know, Arsenal were getting him for 32. So you can't get players like him when you're not in Europe, but hopefully that's the level of player we'll be going after. Yeah, well, listen, the only reason you get those kind of players is because they need to get out. Juventus are always trying to get players out the door. And the Premier League is a pull with some money, so we'll see. New stadium, you might present it to him, new owners,
you
new
work
stadium.
around the leagues, don't you, going, which ones want him? Which ones would he go to?
Yeah. So,
it's all about how good you sell.
Eddie says, I'll see you all in Chicago then.
Good one.
When you are hiring a car, aren't you, from the Friedkins and driving? According to Ped, told you what to do.
Is that Ped's plan, is it?
Yeah. Well, for Eddie.
All right.
I don't know, Steve. They're the links. They have watched a couple of times. Whether it's just him, I don't know, but they're the type of players they should be after, definitely. Augie says, afternoon, fellas. How many friendlies do you think we should play at the new stadium before the new season starts?
1.
See, I've said it all along. I'd have a 4-team tournament, so over the Saturday and the Sunday.
What, in addition to the one in the States, you mean?
The week before. Yeah.
Okay.
So open the Everton Roma.
Yeah, I would.
And just grab two other teams.
Yeah.
And go, we'll play 2 games on the Saturday.
The last one's
2 games on the Saturday, 2 games on the Sunday.
Yeah. And the last one, the biggie, is in the family derby. Yeah.
Well, you can do 2 semis and a final. Arsenal do it with the Emirates Cup, don't they?
Yeah.
So they just go, we're playing. There's 4 teams, 2 on the Saturday, 2 on the Sunday.
Yeah.
That's it. Gives you the chance to play your whole squad in both the games. You've got the crowd there. Good way to make money. Sell the ground.
It'll be full.
Just think of like a lot of people who haven't got season tickets or whatever, who aren't going the first game, would go.
Of course they would.
A lot of people coming who hadn't seen the ground would want to go in. So you'd sell out, and then obviously you're using that stadium the week before at capacity, people getting drinks and food. How did that all work? Because it's full and it's a match day. Yeah, that's great. And they're giving all of that data to Everton for hopefully the next week, which will be, we kick off in the new stadium. Hopefully we're at home day 1. And that's where we kick off. And that'd be
fab.
That'd be great. Great way of making money. Great way of being a proper test, like a real test event, not just a sterile event.
Well, there has to be a full capacity test.
No, I know, but
anyway,
I just think if you're doing it.
But anyway, yeah.
And don't forget, Everton get back from. Oh, sorry, if we go, we'll be leaving Atlanta on maybe the 4th of August or whatever to get home on the 5th, or the 5th to get home on the 6th. The next Saturday is the final weekend for a friendly because the Premier League starts a week later.
Okay.
So if you're trying to stack games...
So week training here and then go into that.
I imagine Everton will play 1 or 2 friendlies.
After they come back from the States?
Before.
Oh, before as well?
Yeah. Well, no, the first game's the 26th of July.
Oh, is it? So they'll have... Yeah, okay. They'll come back to pre-season.
So pre-season will be first week in July. If Moyes... I don't know, but sometimes they go to Austria or something. They might end up with that game at the end of the week against whoever. Then they might have another friendly the week later, and then one maybe midweek with a couple of local teams, and then fly off to America. They've got the 3 in America, and they might just want the 1 at the new stadium when they come back. But I think a 4-team tournament would be quite good because you would be able to mix. You'd be able to use all your squad as well, the kids as well, the promising kids who are there. Make the teams up and just go, right, you can
play. You're rightly so. Full stadium. Twice.
Imagine you, I don't know, just, you are Braden Graham and Moyes is like really impressed with your progress and goes, you're in one of our squads, so you're playing one of the days and you'll get 20, 25 minutes, half an hour in front of 53,000. And that gives them that like real, excitement and that bounce to go, right, this is what I want every other week. I want to be here playing in front of these. You're giving them that.
It'll generate a couple of million quid as well.
Exactly. Money there. So, Kev Maloney says they should have a 5 or 10 second rule for throw-ins as well, and then give the throw to the other team. Well, that might be another thing that comes in, mightn't it? They're looking to tinker with all sorts, aren't they? So that might be sort of like the next thing that they're looking towards. There's not a chance, Kevin Maloney, not a chance. And if you put anything like that again, I'm blocking you and you're getting banned and I'm coming to find you in yours and giving you loads of orange clubs that you have to eat in 12 seconds. Hadjuk Split will never be welcome after the curse of Goodison. They can stay where they are. I wouldn't be inviting them in for a game. If they turn up at Bramley Moor, it's because we've got them in Europe. Look how that turned out last time. Everything was ticking along, tickety-boo. We were all right. We got Hadjuk Split, and we've had a nightmare ever since because of the curse. So, no. Leave the curse, bury the Goodison. They picked up an advertising board and threw it, and the game was only 20 minutes gone. Nothing had happened in it. They were fuming. They're the angriest fans ever. They just turned up with a cob on. No. Leave them where they are. They're happy, and a good luck to them. I've got no issue. Good luck. You keep doing your stuff over there with your flares. But no, they're not getting invited. Not a chance.
I like the bit with your flares.
Not a chance. They're great at doing all that with the flares. They're brilliant to see, but not after.
I thought he was saying that you were going to go to matching in Dry Road.
Who said that?
I thought that's what he was saying.
No, imagine. There you go. Seen one last night though. Dave Murray didn't know what they were, and when I was letting them out, a fella was walking past with a dry robe on. Dave Murray was furious. Mike Raff says, I'll see you when you come to Greenwich, lol.
The Village?
Are Everton playing in Greenwich Village? I don't know.
No, but we'll be in New York, won't we?
I think he means Greenwich in London.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. What are you gagging in for?
We need venues.
You don't even know. You're not even up to the state.
We need specific locations to be.
Yeah, of course we do. Howard Webb supports Rotherham, apparently. Not Man United. Well, he's not going to admit he's a United fan, is he, Rob?
All these Premier League refs, none of them support Premier League clubs.
Of course,
That's amazing, isn't it?
Of course. Michael
Really
Oliver,
is.
I am not a Newcastle fan with his Newcastle shirt on.
Yeah.
Gordon says, hello, lads. Sorry I never got to call round and see you all. Oh, and hello to Posh Matty. All right.
Message exchange platform now.
Apparently so, yeah. But there you go. You know, that's what we do. We connect. About connections.
Community.
Connections.
Community.
Connections.
Of like-minded individuals. And
Oliver, Everton are not signing Oral Mangala on a permanent contract.
No.
No, not happening. Posh Matty says maybe the curse can only be broken by playing them again. No.
The curse can only be broken if Posh Matty sends pizza every week.
Pizza from Posh Matty, Ped said, is the reason how the curse can be broken.
So long ago now, I don't even remember it, do you?
Yeah.
Not as healthy as HelloFresh, though.
Bill says, good morning from the US Toffee fan.
Good one.
Is right, Bill. Emma says Ped did shoot a dry road, though.
How can I shoot a dry robe if I've never worn a dry robe? The goth freak.
She's fantasising about it.
Maybe she is. I can't confirm or deny whether Emma is fantasising about Ped in a dry robe. In his trolley, he's just got out the Albert Dock after doing some freshwater swimming.
I swam in the Albert Dock.
And there he is, and he's got out.
And he survived. He's alive.
And Emma turned up with ocean colours.
It's on the 1878 pod, isn't it?
The wit.
Thumbnail of the 1878 one of a ministry.
Yeah, and you are in your dry robe. So
Oh,
Emma
is that
has
where it
got
come
some
from?
Evidence, like,
Oh, can you stick it on the screen?
yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
So Emma's. I seen what Emma's
She's on
done
it.
there, and I like it. I
She's
like
on
it.
it, yeah.
Or maybe she liked it. But no, Emma. I know. Just chill. Just having a bit of fun. Having a bit of fun with you. That's all. Matthew Scully says Michael Oliver likes Newcastle because of the black and white stripes. He thought it was a referee team. Again, there's no
Umpire.
evidence there.
Umpire.
There's no evidence to say whether or not he did. Who knows?
Who knows?
But he definitely supports Newcastle.
Maybe someone will get him on camera at the weekend.
Yeah, in the away end, yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever, in the away end and the Newcastle end, yeah. Who knows?
They might finally win something.
Let's have a hat on. They won't. Stuart says, what's Ped's best 10k time? 54:36. And your best half marathon time, do you know? A week on Sunday.
He was ill
He'll tell you.
time.
He was ill for the last one. Mark says, just look at the Hadjuk split game. The team had Martina, Keenan, Williams. That's a curse in itself. Fair play. Fair play, Mark. I see what you've done there. I see what you've done. You've had a look. You've flipped it. I like it. Yeah. Mark G isn't a fan of Longstaff. Mark G did say he hopes to catch up with us in April and then again in New Jersey.
Cool.
So there you go.
Double header.
Fair play, Mark. Fair play. Well, we can see what he's like in April, and then if he's a bit
Dodge him.
We'll dodge him in New Jersey. Hide out the way with hats and a dry robe on. Yeah, we're done.
Cool.
We're done. All good. Right, make sure you like, subscribe. There will be a video out about Kevin Thelwell. Check that out as well. And the match preview for West Ham will be out later as well. Check that one out. And we will see you later. Don't forget, get your HelloFresh Toffee TV. 50 is your code for 50% off. And then you get 20% off for a couple of months after it. You'd also get free desserts for as long as you keep getting your HelloFresh orders.
Stuff.
Just scan the barcode there. The QR code even, and get on it and enjoy. Look at these meals. John's gonna have every one of them, and cause he won't give his wife any of them, he just gets to eat a meal for two just for himself. So go and do it. And Chris the Toffee says the new stadium sponsor, the Dry Robe Stadium. Imagine it.
HelloFresh Arena. Nah.
I don't think so.
Maybe not.
I don't think they've got the money, mate.
No, it is quite a lot, isn't it?
It's going to be quite a lot.
Might have Toyota in the title, mightn't it?
Possibly. Or Qatari Airlines.
Yeah,
Wasn't that the other one?
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, whoever's got the moolah, pay it. We will see you later. Take it easy. Bye.